Have you ever been a fan of a TV show and noticed that there was an episode where something was unusual? It started the same, the main cast was there, but the episode focuses on characters that you've never seen before. This is called a backdoor pilot. It's an episode of an existing TV series that, instead of portraying the story of the main characters as it normally does, it focuses on a different set of new characters. Its purpose is to introduce these new characters to the existing audience of an already successful TV show before the creators decide to pursue a new spin-off series with these new characters. Essentially, it is a way to smuggle in a new TV show idea to an audience in order to measure how that audience reacts. Based on the audience's reaction, TV executives will decide whether the new TV show idea is worth pursuing as a standalone series. This is a short look at some of the more interesting backdoor pilots in television history. Do you remember the ninja craze of the 1980s? Ninjas were so popular that even successful TV shows were trying to find ways to inject ninjas into their storylines. Did you know that the TV show CHiPs had a backdoor pilot that focused on a secret team of ninjas employed by the LAPD? For this episode, we are going to be taking a look at the episode of CHiPs that aired on May 23, 1982, titled Force 7. CHiPs was on the air from 1977 to 1983. The premise was simple. The show focused on the day-to-day adventures of two California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers. This episode's cold open begins with the main characters, Officers Punch and John, pursuing an erratic driver. Once the driver pulls over, the audience learns that the driver is a scientist working on missile technology. We learn this because a file containing missile engineering secrets very conveniently falls out of his car door. John and Ponch read the file and come to the conclusion that the missiles mentioned in the file are related to a military transport that had recently been hijacked. But instead of investigating it themselves, Ponch decides that the investigation would be better handled by someone else.
Maybe we ought to put him in the chain and let somebody who knows the case decide if this guy's righteous or if he's dangerous.
After the opening credits, we are introduced to Force 7's new recruit, Rick Nichols, who is quickly greeted by Force 7's leader, Lieutenant John Laguerre, played by former professional football defensive end Fred Dreyer, who just 2 years later found success as the lead in the crime drama Hunter. While Rick Nichols tries to learn what Force 7 does, Laguerre decides to tell him what Force 7 doesn't do.
We don't carry guns for a living.
And now, to meet the rest of the team. There is Cindy, who believes that being a part of Force 7 is the best way to honor her dead husband, who was a police officer that died in the line of duty. And then, there is Sly Angeletti, the token, slow-witted strongman who is also a ventriloquist.
I am third member of Distinguished Martial Arts Team.
Well, tell him your name, dummy.
I am known as Yin of Yang, thank you.
Terrific.
And yes, the dummy is also a character of the show. So with only 4 members, you might ask yourself, where does the name Force 7 come from? Here is the answer. It comes from this sign on the wall. If you can't read it, here's what it says. Police use of force. Force 1, verbal. Force 2, pain compliance. Force 3, control holds. Force 4, body kicks. Force 5, baton. Force 6, deadly force, maximum. Force 7, the preservation of human life in a step beyond killing. The martial arts. Makes perfect sense, right? After a demonstration of Force 7's superior martial arts skills, Laguerre takes a video call from the police chief in which Laguerre is briefed about the hijacked missile. On Force 7's first mission to investigate a lead in a warehouse that they believe could have clues, they are discovered rather quickly, which is a bad quality for ninjas. especially ninja cops. And then, in a stunning plot twist, Laguerre is greeted by Nakuda. Laguerre's former nemesis when he served in the Vietnam War, which was a pretty standard trope of 1980s TV. Nakuda is played by film legend John Rhys Davies. That's right, a Welshman with a Japanese name. Nakuda quickly demonstrates his ability to overpower Laguerre with whatever this battle of wrists is. Nakuda then orders his henchmen to
bring me his other eye.
After Laguerre and Rick stage a dramatic escape that involves knocking out the lights to the warehouse with a ninja throwing star, Nakuda sets his plan into motion by holding the city hostage.
If payment is not made, then the missile will be launched at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
In response, Force 7 descends upon Nakuda's compound as they demonstrate their expertise in ninja-inspired camouflage. They follow their plan of attack that mainly consists of falling on people. I imagine that a gun would have been helpful for the team, but if you remember, they don't carry guns. But Nakuda knows that Force 7 is there.
I know you're there, Laguerre. I know you're coming. I know.
Nakuda then prepares for his showdown with Laguerre, with a ninja costume of his own that can only be described as the best-looking ninja costume in television history. Laguerre and Nakuda have a showdown, and Laguerre is victorious. Laguerre demands the code to disarm the missile, and Nakuda gives him the code. However, the missile is not deactivated as they had planned. Instead, they must use a backup resource. The missile is disarmed, and Force 7 walks away from the crime scene without a single arrest, despite the fact that Nakuda is still alive and conscious. We then return to Ponch and John with a recap of the episode.
Guys, remember that douche you picked up a couple of weeks ago? The one with the funny papers?
Yeah, what about him?
LAPD sent over a commendation. Your bus led him right to some crazy with an M2 Arrow missile he had ideas of launching.
Heavy.
So what about the crazy?
Well, he, his private army, and the missile all wrapped up.
The main characters are on screen for a total of 2 minutes and 39 seconds of this 48-minute episode. Producers knew that the end for CHiPs was approaching quickly. In Season 4, Eric Estrada was absent for several episodes as he attempted to renegotiate his contract, so producers tried to create a couple of spin-offs as a backup plan to CHiPs' inevitable end. Unfortunately, Force 7 was not a hit. This was the final episode of Season 5 and the last appearance of the main character John Baker, played by Larry Wilcox, who did not appear in the show's 6th and final season. But oddly enough, Tom Riley, the actor who played Rick Nichols in the Force 7 episode, returned in the 6th season as Ponch's new partner, Officer Bobby Hot Dog Nelson. I hope that you enjoyed this episode exploring the history of backdoor pilots. We hope to bring you more episodes soon. But until next time, thanks for watching.
Welcome to Force 7.